Welcome to Lowest to Highest, guys. On today's episode, my name is Cyril and I'll be your host. It's a pleasure having you here today, or having us here to interview you. We've been looking forward to interviewing you, and we know that it started up from family homes, how we all started. So, can you give us a brief about the background where you all started off from?
It's a long story, but I will give you a brief, like you said.
We'd like to hear that.
Yes,
We'd like
thank
to
you.
hear that.
I came into Abuja in early 2000 to start my banking career.
Early 2000.
Yes, early 2000.
Wow.
And I started from a junior officer up to senior level before I resigned in 1999 to
Wow.
join Family Homes Funds. But in the course of my banking career, I've worked with many banks, both bigger, lower, middle, and microfinance.
Wow.
I work in almost all financial sector before I resigned.
What really made you go into banking?
Everybody have a dream.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I see my house is not too far away from bank. But my coming to Abuja, I don't have that dream. But it's been my dream right from childhood that when I grow up, I want to be a banker.
Interesting.
But as God will have it, I come into struggle city, and at the end of the day, I find myself in banking sector.
Then people really don't have a thing about making choices of dream for themselves. But you were able to fine tune yourself by looking at the bank close to your house.
Yes.
Let me get this really clear. Do you mean to say that you were able to go into banking and finance because of you could see a bank literally looking beautifully designed opposite your
No,
nearest house?
not only that. Every child when you are growing up, you look up to somebody as a role model.
Okay. I know you have gone into banking for a while,
Yes.
and then you have also transitioned into real estate.
Yes.
Can I really understand? Can you give us like a brief
You know,
intro about that?
in the course of my banking career, I found myself in a mortgage bank,
Okay.
and that is where I pick interest in real estate.
Oh.
Because mortgage bank is a real estate finance company and providing mortgage.
Also, I would like to know, within these times, were there any time you had a thought of losing? You didn't want to lose, but this thing keep coming to you of not failing or failing at some point. How were you able to accomplish, or how were you able to conquer that fear at that time of your life?
Failure is part of growing up,
Mm,
but that does not define us.
okay.
So the more you make a mistake today, tomorrow you shift from that mistake. That's how you grow. Yes.
Were there a time in your life where you failed on something, but later realized you would have done it better in another
Many
way?
times.
Okay.
And that is what brought us to who we are today. In life, even when you are growing up as a child, you don't walk in a day. In the business, wherever you fail today, you don't go back there tomorrow.
True.
So failure is part of growing up. It's part of success.
Okay, do you feel like, or do you think that it's a good thing to fail, then get to know how to do it better the next time, or is it a good thing to not fail and then get to know it from the very first time?
It's a good thing to fail earlier
Ooh.
than growing up to fail when you are up. Because when you fail when you are up, you can come back to zero.
Wow.
Yes.
This is actually interesting. Okay, I would also like to know, in our Nigerian to start with, many people happen to be a backbone of themselves. But for you, was it like your parents had you covered or you had yourself covered?
I tell you, my parents have me covered by praying for me to succeed. It's number one key. They always wish me well. I always wish myself. And at the same time, I always walk towards the road of success. So that's what lead us to where we are today.
This is actually interesting to know that you were able to build yourself from the ground up to where you are right now. And then it's all by yourself. And most Nigerians or most people these days feel like if they had a rich dad, they would have done things better.
Yes.
But what would you have to say about that?
It's very correct. The process and procedure I follow to grow up, I don't want my children to pass through that hurdle, a street. I don't know if they can be able to do it. I don't even pray for them to pass through that process, but I want to build a name that wherever my children mention my name, at least it will open door for them.
So could you help us just give a brief definition within yourself, the difference between failure and success?
The difference between failure and success, like I said earlier, they go hand in hands together. It's just like a brother and sisters. You can't succeed without failing.
True.
So they go hand in hands together. Failing in that business does not mean that that business is bad. It's just for you to change your routes. Like I listened to, or I read a book of, Mr. Femi Otedola, where he said they asked him similar question of what was his biggest loss, and he said he lost $1 billion in a business, be it education, be it business, be it anything. Is not the end of your journey. It's just for you to know how to reroute yourself.
Okay, sir. This just came into my mind to ask, within while you were explaining that. So when going into a business or a project, to say, do you always have the idea at the back of your mind of the chances of failing?
At the risks associated with that business, legal risks, whatever risks that is associated with that business, and you try to mitigate it before it befall you. So by the time you do that, you won't have that problem. My transition into family homes funds, when I left Keystone Bank, that was my last place of assignment.
Ooh.
Yes, as a banker. Then Family Homes Funds was established by Federal Ministry of Finance under former Minister Kemi.
Wow.
Established with about 1.3 trillion.
Wow.
Then. And I happen to be one of the pioneer staff of that company. That under the leadership of our MD then, Mr. Femi Adewale. Yes, I work with him directly. So most of the places where we have business today, or family homes funds that business today across Nigeria, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 50 to 60% of it was established under my teamwork with the MD.
Okay, now let me just understand something. So when you were able to move in, how were you able to find a balance?
Moving into...
Yes, let me just give you an instance on this question. If you are into real estate and then you want to move into selling cars, it's a different ballgame of business. So now you'll have to be able to understand the dynamics about selling cars. Now for you, was it that you had your connects there or you had your research?
I was a real estate finance person before I joined Family Homes.
Yes, so.
I once worked with ASO Savings and Loans, who happen to be one of the largest or biggest real estate finance mortgage company in Nigeria. And through that, I learned a lot. What I went to do in Family Homes Fund, that it makes it easier for me because everything we do in Family Homes Fund is what I have learned before, what I have experienced before. So it makes life easier for me. And remember I told you, I once worked with a mortgage institution where I have the understanding and the dynamics of how to structure loan for construction of houses. And it makes it easier for me to perform, in Family Homes Funds, and that give me a very interesting opportunity to go around the country, meet with the governors, telling them, what the federal government scheme is all about. And through that, we did a lot.
Would like you to share to the young minds an idea or a strategy for them to use, for we, I'm included, for we to use, for us to have these mindsets to want to lead, but not just lead, but to lead right.
Leadership is a process. You understand, but leading people is not that interesting. I tell you, it's one of the most difficult things to do.
It's unlike robots.
No, it's one of the most difficult things to do, more especially people like us that are partly politicians, and you have to be extremely patient to lead, to keep them together for the company to succeed. But leading people, I tell you, is one of the most difficult thing to do. But the most interesting part of it is the joy, the privilege that yes, you are the one on top to say do this, don't do that. You can't give what you don't have.
Yes.
So you have to take your time to learn whatever you want to go in today, be it business, be it farming, be it anything you want to do. You have to learn from those who are in. They will guide you so that you won't miss it. Without patience, you can't lead people. Without experience, you can't lead people. So you have to have all these qualities. That's why when you see CV and they say they want to hire a manager or they want to hire a general manager, at managerial level they will say 10 years experience. So you must have seen it all.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
True. Like they all say, it's not how long you lived it, it's how well you did it. Okay, this is actually good to know. And then also, sir, I would like to know how has spirituality and then discipline been able to help you?
You know, the spirituality aspect of it is number one, believe in your Almighty.
True.
Yes.
Okay, but also I would like to know how were you able to stay grounded in responsibility in doing your, in maintaining spirituality and then still trying to build a career for yourself?
It's simple. You know, like I said, is when you believe in your God and you work towards everything you want to do. You wake up every morning, you have somewhere to go, you know the role of everybody in your own company, and you know what you want them to achieve. So, with that, definitely, if you monitor and you supervise, you coordinate, you get the result.
Interesting. Now, were you like doing a to-do list of your everyday life?
Of course. So I know everything I'm going to do tomorrow morning by God's grace if I wake up, healthy. So, and I know what I've achieved for today.
Inshallah, definitely you will be healthy to keep you going. Now, let's go to where you are now. SunTrust Group Limited.
Yes, into real estate construction, into finance, into consultancy, into management, into hospitality, and so and so on, and traveling and tours. So we do a lot of things in SunTrust Group.
It's not easy to lead. But sometimes it's not easy to get to lead. So now, this is a very funny question. You've explained this in family homes and then your banking sector. But SunTrust Group happens to be of a bigger one. Were there times, these pressures comes to you that, because honestly speaking, sometimes I get this depression. The reason I'm asking these questions is I'm trying to know how you are able to handle it.
All time you get frustrated with all this you ask. In Nigeria, project, no matter how beautiful it is, getting financial support from financial institution is usually the most difficult one. Government need to come in, to cushion the effect, make it flexible. So, but I tell you, when it comes to frustration, if there's anything that frustrated anybody that is into real estate is funding aspect of it.
Let me get the thing. So the highest or maybe like the biggest setbacks for you sometimes is the funding for the project.
Of course. No matter how beautiful your location is, no matter how beautiful your design is, if you don't get funding, that project must fund itself. So you can't survive it. So those are the biggest challenge. So most of the project that you are going to do, you have to do your feasibility studies about the location. And that project must be able to fund itself.
How do you weigh investment? People coming in to invest in your projects that you have.
I own the expertise. Somebody is an engineer, the other person is, an architect, and you are a financier. So all of you can come together and have your own cake according to your contribution on the project.
So let's say for a youth out there right now, frustrated, struggling, feeling lost in their way to their success. So what can you say to them to keep them vibed up or to keep them pushing?
For our younger generation, that, have lost it for no reason. Because I call it for no reason. Everywhere you are, there is opportunity there. Wherever you are, you shift, you see opportunity. And if you choose to be where you are, be productive. You understand? There is nowhere you are in Nigeria or in the world that you cannot be productive, except if you choose not to. If you engage in something, that thing must give back to you.
Definitely.
But when you sit down gossiping, you will still get it back. So there is no success in the comfort zone. Stand up, learn skills. There are a lot of opportunity today around the globe. Try to identify what work. If you are a graduate and you can't get white collar job, learn skill. Go into carpentry. You can go into baking. You can go into food vendor. You can go into so many things. So there is no reason for anybody not to do anything, except if one is lazy. Yes.
This is interesting to know. This is actually interesting. Like you have heard it from the man himself. Be zealous, be dedicated. Don't keep it to yourself, because there is no success in a comfort zone.
If nobody push you, push yourself. Push yourself.
I got that.
If nobody push you, push yourself. If you have the skill, post it. Look for those who have similar, liaise with them and see how you can improve your own self.
Like you said, push yourself, because honestly speaking, nobody will push you. Nobody can come to tell you that go and eat food. Maybe if you are a little baby, you're 4 to 5, then they can do that. But if you're an adult, people tell you, okay, maybe they could give you corrections on what you're doing, but push yourself. Thank you so much, Sal. But lastly, give us a word of advice.
My advice for our younger generation is simple. If nobody push you, push yourself. And always remember, there is no success in a comfort zone.
This is actually amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you, Mr. Hussein Yusuf Ijabah. It's a deepest pleasure to have interviewed you today.
Thank you very much for having me.
We are so grateful for these inspiring words, and I'm pretty much sure that this is going to reach out to a lot of people, and this is going to help somebody right now to push themselves and then to move to their next step in life.